Hello, everybody. This is Reggie Insurance Fellow, and welcome to Keeping Carolina Families Covered. Today, I want to talk about the 7 mistakes you're making with life insurance policies and how to fix them. We know that life insurance is important in terms of coverage and taking care of families and making sure that we all know that insurance isn't necessarily for us, it's for those who we leave behind. But I'm just going to go in briefly on what to do in terms of how to use them. First one is this: buying enough just to cover the funeral. Yeah, and I hear it all the time. Well, I need just enough to cover my burial expenses. But here's the thing about it: there are a lot of expenses that come with death that we don't even think about that come up. You know, um, it takes care of the deceased, but it doesn't take care of the family when normal living still have to take care of. Say if that person was the breadwinner and they were paying for that house. Now the family has to figure out how to do that if there isn't enough in a policy or funds weren't left behind in order to make that possible. Here's how to fix it though. Yeah, just look at your life insurance as a tool to replace your income because that's essentially what insurance is. You're transferring risk, and when something happens, you're able to replace the income of the person um, who was providing for you. I know as a general practice, sometimes the policy that you take out should be between 15 and 20 times what that person's annual salary is. You never know what it'd be the expenses because there's a lot of things that can come up. You got mortgages, debts, people. You may have kids in college. There's so many other things, and guess what? If you're driving a car, if you're got various things, those things are recurring and they come up every month. And so it's important to make sure that all of those things are taken care of at their optimum. Now, the second one is choosing the wrong policy for the stage in your life. And I will just say this: different insurance policies or products, they have different purposes. When someone is young and they've got a lot of debt and they've got a lot to cover, I do recommend term because it's only for a period of time. I I've been an insurance agent almost 5 years now, and I could tell you that anybody over the age of 40, I would never recommend a term policy for. That doesn't mean that you can't get it, but I would always say whole life if you can get it because it provides a great more protection, and it's a lot easier um, to get access to. And you don't want to get a term policy at 60 and now, well, yeah, or 40 or at 60, and then 20 years later realize that you no longer have coverage. That is not an eye opener that you want at an important stage of your life. Listen, it's important to get affordable life insurance. I always tell people get what you can afford because if you get something above what you can afford, the first opportunity for a financial crisis, the policy is usually going to be the first thing to go. So get something that you can afford, keep it within your budget. And I always advise people if people get policies they can afford, they will likely to stay and it'll likely to stay with their family and they'll be able to remain in the family for as long as necessary. All right. Treating your, and this is the third one that, the third common mistake that's made. Treating your beneficiaries like a set it and forget it item. Life changes for us, right? People get married, people get divorced, people have kids, people lose kids, people adopt kids. What I'm getting at is life changes. So that particular area may not be the same. So if you get married, you need to make those changes if you need to. If you get divorced, don't forget to make those changes either because in your passing, you may leave something to someone that you didn't intend to leave because they're not going off of what you intended to do. They're going off of what was actually done. So look at it this way. I always tell people review your policy at least once a year because if you got your eyes on it and you're able to see it, then it will come to people. Hey, I need to make these changes to make it make sense for the time right now because major life changes can happen, but sometimes the paperwork doesn't always reflect it. The fourth biggest mistake that people make is they rely on their employer's insurance. And yes, most employers offer some type of insurance. But a thing you, you also have to understand that for most companies who offer that to their employees, it's a perk. It isn't necessarily a requirement. And the thing about it is, if you leave your job and it's the only insurance you have, there goes your insurance. If you lose your job, for instance, through a layoff or through termination, there goes your insurance. Or if the company changes its benefits, that could change the insurance that you have. Or what if one company buys that company and expects you to um, keep what they have, or they may change something totally for the entire company, and it may be only insurance coverage. It may be something that you're not happy with. This is the thing that I tell people. Even if you have insurance at your job, always get insurance on your own. This way, it covers you and it also covers your family. And also, if you do have insurance at your job, have it looked at. Look at and see exactly what it does and does not cover, and what time periods does not cover. And also, if there are specific instances where that insurance isn't applicable, like for a layoff, for instance. Some companies or some policies may not insure a person in the event of a layoff, or it just depends on the policy and it just depends on the company. But look at it this way: use your work policy as a bonus, but always have your own policy if you can get it. Okay, because here's the thing about it: you never know where your career is going to take you. You never know what your family is going to need. Having that policy um, as young as you can and locking in as a rate and do that for yourself. That's going to help you long term. And so that's what we look at when it comes to this. The fifth common mistake that people make when it comes to life insurance is that they're not shopping around for their best rates. And the thing about it is, you can shop around for the very best rate that's going to work for you. I highly advise it. You see, every family deserves a fair deal. Every family deserves coverage that they can live with and they can afford to keep. And that's the thing about it. You have different insurance companies, and every lifestyle is different. So not every product is for everybody. But here's the fix: don't settle. Compare term life rates, compare whole life rates. Make sure every dollar that you're earning is working for you. I tell people, if you it's going to be today, it's as cheap as it's going to be. I say that to say this because when it comes to life insurance, there are two major things that's going to determine a lot of what you're going to be able to pay or not pay for life insurance. One is age, and one is health. And each company can have different criteria as far as what they'll accept, but those are the two major ones. So if you wait until your 60s to get coverage, expect to pay a lot more than someone in, say, their 30s or 40s. It's kind of how that works. And it kind of leads me to my next one. The sixth most common mistake is playing the waiting game. And a lot of times people feel like they've got enough time or they can do it later. That's a common mistake that people make. We don't always have enough time. We get it. Life is busy, and you're thinking about insurance as a weekend fun activity, and we don't want that. But here's the thing about it: when you procrastinate, that's the biggest enemy of anybody. And in this case, it's the enemy of your family, because if this is not done, they've got to come up with a way to be able to take care of this sort of thing. And listen, every year you wait, the price goes up, and you run the risk of developing a health condition that makes either your insurance going to be much more expensive or may be difficult to get you covered at all. So here's the fix for this. Even if you have a small policy, that's still better than having no policy. Okay. The goal is to get that vehicle on the road so it's there when you need it. Protecting your family shouldn't be a someday project, because someday is not a day. Today is a day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are days. Now is a very good time. Yesterday is probably a better time if you don't already have it. The seventh thing, the seventh biggest mistake that people make is naming their minor children direct beneficiaries. And believe me, yes, it's a mistake born out of love, of course, because we want to make sure we take care of our children and make sure they have everything that they need. But here's what I need to tell you: insurance companies cannot legally pay large sums of money directly to someone under 18. They simply cannot do that. So your if you name your little one as a beneficiary, a court is going to have to decide, or we're going to have to appoint a guardian to manage that money until that person turns 18 or 21, depending on which state they live in. And it can take months, and that can be quite expensive to be able to make that determination. But it's a big mistake that people make unless they work something out with their family to be the guardian. But sometimes that doesn't happen. Um, Working in insurance, I'm here to serve people. I first of all want them to be better educated on what's available to them. Secondly, I want them to get a policy or products that their family needs and that they can live with, and that they're able to look back and understand that, hey, I took these steps and now I have peace of mind because of that. Okay? This is about service, and I hope that this was hopeful to anybody that who would listen. I'm Reg the Insurance Fellow, as you know, and I am licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. If you like what I shared, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe, and you'll get to see more of what is coming. Take care. Have a great day.